Fear is no obstacle to faith. There is another kind of fear and trembling which, far from diminishing the certainty of faith, confirms it. It is when believers, taught by examples of God's vengeance on the wicked, not to provoke his wrath by similar sins, take much more care to keep themselves from evil. Or else, when realizing their wretchedness, they learn to depend entirely on God, without whom they regard themselves as more frail and unsteady than a puff of wind. Thus, the apostle, having reminded the Corinthians of how God had punished the people of Israel, makes them afraid, lest they fall into the same sin. Yet in doing so, he in no way undermines their confidence, but merely rouses them from their lethargy, which normally buries faith instead of establishing it. Similarly, from the story of the Jews' ruin comes the lesson that those who stand should beware, lest they fall. Paul, however, does not recommend that we waver as if unsure of our steadfastness. He simply removes all arrogance and reckless trust in our own strength, so that we who are Gentiles should not speak ill of the Jews in whose place we have been put. Again, when he teaches us to work for our salvation with fear and trembling, all he asks is that we get used to relying on the Lord for strength while completely humbling ourselves. It is the case that nothing can more powerfully induce us to trust in God with certainty and assurance than self-distrust and the distress we feel once we realize our plight. This is how we should interpret the prophet's words: "I will enter your house amid the multitude of your blessings, and I will worship you in fear." Here he very properly associates the boldness of faith, which relies on God's mercy, with fear and holy trembling, which must surely affect us when we appear before God's majesty, in whose light we discern all our filthiness. Solomon therefore speaks the very truth when he declares, "Blessed is the man who continually causes his heart to fear, for through hardness of heart comes calamity." He means, of course, a fear which teaches us to be more careful and wise, not one which drives us to despair. So our heart, when dismayed, draws strength from God. When cast down, it is raised up in him. And when distrustful of self, it stands firm through hope in him. As a result, there is nothing to stop believers feeling fear and trembling, and yet also enjoying very sure consolation in that they contemplate on the one hand their own emptiness, and on the other God's truth.